The West after World War II. After World War II, the American West experienced rapid growth due to military investments, aerospace expansion, and suburbanization. This development transformed the region into an economic powerhouse and cultural symbol of opportunity. Cold War ideology. The Cold War was driven by ideological conflict between capitalism, led by the US, and communism, led by the Soviet Union. Both sides believed their systems were superior and sought global influence through propaganda, alliances, and proxy wars. U.S. and Holocaust. The U.S. was slow to respond to the Holocaust, focusing instead on military victory during World War II. Post-war, it played a major role in revealing Nazi crimes and aiding Jewish survivors, leading to the support for the creation of Israel. 1960 election. The 1960 election pitted JFK against Richard Nixon and was the first to feature televised debates. Kennedy's charisma and effective use of media helped secure a narrow victory, marking a shift in political campaigning. Pull factors for populating the West. Federal policies like the GI Bill, affordable housing, and defense-related jobs attracted Americans to the West. The promise of economic opportunity and a better lifestyle drove large-scale migration and urban development. Great Depression and families. The Great Depression strained American families through widespread unemployment and poverty. Many families had to make significant sacrifices, and traditional roles often shifted to adapt to economic hardship. 1948 election. President Truman won an unexpected victory. Hell yes, my package finally fucking shipped. This shit shipped Friday, and just got no word on it until just now. And I paid for like UPS ground like another 20 bucks. Holy shit, it's not coming for another 6 days. I paid for the one that would give me next day delivery, like an extra 10 fucking bucks. And it's not coming for another 6 days after shipping last fucking Friday. President Truman won an unexpected. No, I don't even think that's where I'm at. The Great Depression strained American families through widespread unemployment and poverty. Many families had to make significant sacrifices, and traditional roles often shifted to adapt to economic hardship. 1948 election. President Truman won an unexpected victory against Thomas Dewey. Despite low approval ratings and a split Democratic Party, his aggressive campaigning and support for civil rights helped him secure a full term. Popularity of Jesus Christ. Ugh. Of the Vietnam War. Initially, the Vietnam War had public support due to fears of communism spreading. Oh my god. Over time, graphic media coverage and the draft led to widespread opposition and protest movements. Containment policy and brinkmanship. The U.S. adopted containment to stop the spread of communism using economic and military aid. Brinkmanship often involved pushing dangerous conflicts to the edge of war, most famously during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1960, damn, this looks quiet as hell. Give me a second. In 1962, the U.S. discovered Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba, sparking a tense 13-day standoff. It ended with the USSR agreeing to remove the missiles in exchange for a U.S. pledge to not invade Cuba and secretly remove missiles from Turkey. The end of God, I'm sorry if you have this on a loud volume. The end of the Great Depression. The Great Depression ended largely due to a World War II-era government spending, which boosted industrial production and employment. The war economy revived demand and eliminated mass unemployment. Groups and civil rights movements. Key groups included the NAACP, SNCC, and SCLC. Do not ask me what those stand for. I do not fucking know. Each playing distinct roles through legal action, direct protest, and non-violent resistance. These organizations work together to challenge segregation and secure voting rights. Rock and roll emerged in the 1950s, blending African American blues with white country music. It challenged social norms and became a symbol of youth rebellion and cultural change. I am at 4 minutes and only on page 3. God damn it. Castro and Cuban independence. Fidel Castro led a revolution in 1959 that overthrew U.S.-backed dictator Batista and established a communist government. His alignment with the USSR created tension with the US and led to events like the Bay of Pigs and Cuban Missile Crisis. The Great Society programs. Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society aimed to eliminate poverty and racial injustice. Please tell me this is the right study. It probably is. And racial injustice through programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and the War on Poverty. It expanded the federal government's role in health, education, and welfare. Rachel Carson's book Silent Spring exposed the dangers of pesticides and launched the modern environmental movement. Her work led to increased public awareness and stricter environmental regulations. Freedom Summer. In 1964, civil rights activists launched Freedom Summer to register black voters in Mississippi. The campaign faced violent resistance, including the murder of 3 activists, but brought national attention to voting rights issues. Jobs in World War II. World War II created millions of jobs and ended the Depression-era unemployment crisis. Women and minorities entered the workforce in large numbers to support the war effort. Racial tension in World War II. While African Americans and other minorities contributed to the war, they faced discrimination and segregation. This hypocrisy sparked the Double V campaign, a victory against fascism abroad and racism at home. Proud of you guys. Civil Rights Act 1964. This landmark legislation outlawed segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination. It was a major victory for the civil rights movement and a foundation for future equality laws. Cars in the 1920s and 1950s. In the 1920s, cars like the Ford Model T revolutionized transportation and supported suburban growth. By the 1950s, cars symbolized prosperity and freedom, leading to car culture and increased mobility. Federal Highway Act, passed in 1959. This act founded the construction of the interstate highway system. It transformed American infrastructure, boosted commerce, and enabled suburban expansion. Flexible response was a Cold War military strategy under JFK that expanded options beyond nuclear retaliation. It emphasized conventional forces and special operations to respond to various threats. American prosperity in the 1950s. Post-war America saw economic growth, rising wages, and increased consumer spending. Prosperity fueled suburban expansion and a growing middle class. Rise of suburbs. After World War II, millions moved to suburbs thanks to affordable housing, cars, and government support like the GI Bill. This reshaped American demographics and promoted a car-centered lifestyle. Impact of the New Deal. I feel like we did this last test. I swear to God we did this last test. The New Deal expanded the federal government's role in the economy through social welfare and job program. It provided relief during the Depression and reshaped American expectations of government responsibility. The Great Society. The Great Society sought to improve quality of life through legislation in education, healthcare, and civil rights. It built on New Deal ideals and aimed to create a more equitable society. God damn, I need a glass of water. 2.5 pages left. U-2 incident. In 1960, the USSR shot down a U.S. spy plane and captured pilot Francis Gray Powers, exposing U.S. surveillance. The incident derailed a planned summit and increased Cold War tensions. AIM, American. Goddamn, bro. This is like. Oh, my little brother's calling me. Yo.
Can you help us with the sound thing? It's like way off.
The sound thing? Like, for what TV?
For the one in the living room.
Yep. I will be down in a minute.
Bye.
Bye. AIM stands for American Indian Movement. AIM was founded in 1960. Goddamn, I'm sorry. AIM was founded in 1968 to advocate for Native American rights and sovereignty. It organized protests and occupations to demand treaty enforcement and end discrimination. Cesar Chavez. Chavez co-founded the United Farm Workers and led nonviolent protests to improve labor conditions for farm workers. His activism brought national attention to migrant worker rights. De facto and de jure segregation. What the fuck? De jure segregation is enforced by laws and Jim Crow laws, while de facto segregation results from social and economic conditions. Both limited civil rights and require different strategies to overcome. Rise of TV. Television became the dominant medium in the 1950s, shaping culture, politics, and consumer habits. It also played a key role in exposing social issues, including civil rights abuse. The 1968 election occurred during national turmoil from the Vietnam War and civil unrest. Richard Nixon won on a law and order platform, signaling a conservative shift in U.S. politics. Rebuilding Japan and Germany post World War II. The U.S. helped rebuild Japan and West Germany to stabilize regions and prevent communist influence. Both became democratic alliances with strong economies due to American aid and oversight. New Left 1960s. The New Left was a youth-driven political movement advocating civil rights, peace, and social justice. It challenged traditional authority and played a central role in protests and campus activism. McCarthyism. Named after Senator Joseph McCarthy, this period was marked by anti-communist hysteria and accusations without evidence. It led to blacklists, ruined careers, and a climate of fear during the early Cold War. Korean War. The Korean War began in 1950 when North Korea invaded South Korea, prompting U.S. intervention under the UN. It ended in a stalemate and armistice in 1953, solidifying Cold War divisions. MLK Jr. MLK was a leader, a key leader in the civil rights movement. If you don't know who the fuck MLK is and you have to listen to this shit, you've got problems of your own there, buddy. I can't lie. But he advocated nonviolent resistance and racial equality, and his leadership in events like the Montgomery bus boycott and March on Washington made him a national icon. Birmingham. In 1963, protests in Birmingham, Alabama highlighted brutal segregationist tactics and police violence. Media coverage shocked the nation and helped spur civil rights legislation. U.S. economic productivity during World War II. American factories converted to war production, resulting in massive output of weapons, vehicles, and supplies. This surge ended the Depression and positioned the U.S. as the world's leading industrial power. Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan provided over $12 billion. Oh my god, I'm almost fucking done. Praise Jesus, we're at almost 13 minutes. The Marshall Plan provided over $12 billion in aid to rebuild Western Europe after World War II. It was both a humanitarian effort and a strategy to prevent the spread of communism. 1949. In 1949, NATO was formed to counter Soviet influence, and China fell to communism under Mao Zedong. Fucking dumbass name, bro. These events intensified Cold War fears in the U.S., and 1968 was a year of political assassinations, protests, and upheaval. The deaths of MLK and RFK, combined with Vietnam War opposition, deeply affected national morale. We are fucking done, baby.